Right. Generally, what do you mean by expansion? What do you mean by expansion?
Change in the length, weight or volume like of any material.
Right. Expansion is nothing but change in a length or change in a width or change in height, change in volume, change in area, whatever it may be. So change will be there. Expansion means change will be there. And suppose if I say my business is expanded, that means you are increasing your business. So like that here also expansion means changing the length. Either length may increase, either length may decrease sometimes. So expansion means generally increasing only. So change in shape, change in length, width, height or volume of any material with the change of temperature, that means with the heat energy, then that type of expansion will be called what? Actually it will be called thermal expansion. So that will be called thermal expansion. If there is a change in length, width, height, volume of any material with the heat energy, then you have to say it as thermal expansion. So thermal expansion generally is you can observe very easily in a solid substances, whereas in liquids and gases you can understand with a few examples. So thermal expansions of solids has a lot of applications in our daily life. So those things we are going to learn today. So we are going to learn about expansion. And again tell me, generally what do you mean by expansion? What do you mean by
It is the change in the length, weight or height or volume of any material.
Very good. So suppose I took one rod like this. A small rod I took and I heated here. When I am heating here, what happens? Definitely the length of this particular rod may change or width also may change. And when the length and width are changing, definitely area also may change. So like that, either length may change or width may change. Sometimes if it is a three-dimensional object, height may change. That means value may change. So like that, many things can happen with the expansion, and we are going to learn about those expansions only. And here you have to understand why a solid substance will expand or any substance will expand. Generally, can you say the reason why a substance can expand when you are heating?
Sir, the intermolecular space increases.
Very good. The intermolecular space is increasing. So as intermolecular space is increasing between atoms of that substance or molecules of that substance, that's why definitely what happens? It will expand. So the reason behind the expansion is change in intermolecular distance or interatomic distance. Very good. Now let us learn how many types of thermal expansions will be there. And before going to start about this, tell me what do you mean by thermal expansion? What do you mean by
It is the change in weight, length or volume or height of any material with the changing of the temperature.
Caused due to the change of temperature.
Right. So change in shape or change in length or change in width or change in area or change in volume, particularly due to which energy? Heat energy. Then only we say which one? Thermal expansion. So instead of saying heat energy there, he said with the change of temperature. That means if you are changing the temperature, then what changes? Heat energy also will change. So this is one effect of heat energy only. So that is nothing but thermal expansion. And how many types of expansions will be there generally? Expansion of solids, expansion of gases and expansion of liquids. As you know that there are three types of substances: solids, liquids and gases, and all will expand while you are heating. So, and as you learned just now, what you learned? You learned that, what you learned? Whenever we are heating, solids will expand, and we can have many number of applications for expansion of solids. And even for expansion of gases and liquids also many applications are there, and those things we are going to learn today. Okay, so let us start first about expansion of solids. Right, so expansion of solids, what do you mean by expansion of solids? Suppose I took one metal rod like this and I heated it, then definitely what happens? The length of this particular rod may change. Okay, and this is called expansion of solids. So generally to say expansion of solids again will be of three types. First one is called linear expansion. What type of expansion? First type will be linear expansion, and next type of expansion will be there, which is called aerial expansion, and one more type of expansion will be there, which is called volume expansion. So what we mean by linear expansion?
Where the length increases.
Okay, very good. If only length increases, then that type of expansion will be called linear expansion. Okay, so linear expansion means there will be change in only length. And what will be aerial expansion?
Where the area of an object increases.
Area means what will change?
The inner
Length.
portion of the object.
So length and breadth both will change, or length and width will change. And what do you mean by volume expansion?
The
Where
length,
thickness-
breadth and width.
Right, so generally length,
Breadth and height.
very good, breadth and height will change. So all the three will changes in case of volume expansion. So this is what you have to understand little bit related to this expansion of solids, but we are going to deal with all the things here. Now once you observe, few expansions were given here, and after discussing about expansions I will go through these particular applications here again. Okay, understand about this expansion of solids, let us try to understand about two particular applications where you can understand about expansion of solids. Now here one iron ball we took. So this is iron ball which is in the shape of a globe or a rubber ball, and this is a iron ball, and this iron ball actually I am fitting in one kind of a ring here. This is one ring is there here, and in that ring I am fixing this particular iron ball first. So let us say it is fixing at a smaller temperature, that means at a cool temperatures. So let us say now the temperature is 15 degrees Celsius or 20 degrees Celsius, like that ordinary temperature, or even at a room temperature. Room temperature generally we take as 28 degrees Celsius. So let us think at 28 degrees centigrade room temperature, this ball fits in this ring. Okay, ball is fitting in this ring, and what I did is I heated this particular ball with a Bunsen burner, and already I told you about Bunsen burners in a previous session. Burners will be there which will use a gas, and by using this Bunsen burner I heated this particular ball here. heated with a Bunsen burner here. And when you heat, what will happen to this ball?
Sir, it will expand.
It will expand. Now what I am going to do is, now I want to fit this particular ball into this ring now after heating. Whether it will fit through this?
No, sir, it will not.
Why?
So because on heating the ball expanded, so it cannot fit in the ring.
Right. Now tell me whether the length of the ball increased or area increased or volume increased.
Sir, volume.
Very good. So we can't say about length and breadth here. That's why what you have to say, volume of this ball was expanded, or volume of this metal ball was expanded. That's why this metal ball now is not fitting in this ring. Earlier it was fitted here. Why? Because it is the smaller size than that ring. That's why it is going through that particular ring. But when you are heating it, definitely what happens is it will expand and thereby it will not fit into this ring. So expansion is occurred here or not?
Yes, sir.
Right. So this expansion you can observe. And in our daily life, we can observe railway tracks like this. Have you observed railway tracks? Have you ever traveled
sir.
through the train?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. So when you are traveling through the train, traveling in the train, maybe you observe the tracks. And when you are observing the tracks, now this is one kind of a what steel rod will be there, and this is also one steel rod, and in between these two steel rods some gap will be there.
Yes,
Have you
sir.
observed about that gap?
Sir, can I tell?
Tell me.
On when the train moves, it produces heat, so the metal rods will expand.
When the train
sir,
moves,
when they expand,
it increases its temperature.
yes, sir. So when they will rods will expand. So they put this gap because whenever it expands, it should not touch each other. Otherwise, the like the train, it makes like cars direction change. So due to that, they put some distance in between. They leave some distance in between so that even if the rods expand, they don't touch each other.
Right. Expansion will occur only by moving of train. Huh?
No, sir. Even by the sun's heat.
Sir, the rods will overlap. So
Right.
that's why we give a gap.
Any heat caused by any.
Maybe you know that in summer temperature will be more or less.
Sir, it will be more.
More. In summer, if temperature is more, there is a chance of expansion of this rod or not.
Yes, sir.
Right. When expansion of rod takes place in the summer, then what may occur if you are joining them? If you are joining them, already you joined these two rods. Suppose we are laying down these
There
rods.
will be no place for the train's wheels to go on.
Right. Whenever these two these two rods are joined in a winter, and in summer, what may happen? Expansion of this particular rod may happen. And when expansion of this rod is happening, what happens is, instead of filling this gap here, what happens is some bulginess will be there. That means it increases its size. And when it increases its size, due to this bulginess, when train travels through this bulginess, it may derail. It may derail actually. That means it may go off this particular track. So there may be chance of some
Accident.
collision or anything, some accident will occur like this, and there may be chance of a few deaths also because of this derailing. So to overcome this particular derailing, what we have to do? We have to give some gap in between them.
Sir, we have to give enough gap. Otherwise, if we give like a really less gap, like whenever it expands, it still joins.
Very good. So we have to give enough gap. And on what basis you can give the gap? Just now only you learned about one expansion, which is called
Area.
linear expansion. That means what will change in a linear expansion?
Length.
Length will change. And how much length will be changed? We can find out it by one kind of a physical quantity which is called coefficient of linear expansion. Coefficient of what? Linear expansion. And by taking this particular value, coefficient of linear expansion, what we can do is we can estimate how much iron can expand for a temperature. Let us say maximum temperature in the summer is 50 degrees Celsius. So up to 50 degrees Celsius, how much expansion of this particular rod may take place, that can be estimated. And after estimating that only, we will leave gap between two rods of a track, railway track. And one more application also you can understand. What is that? Suppose in summer, we are laying down these current wires. So maybe you know that the current wires generally made with what?
Copper. Outside to the outside.
Current wires outside, not in our home actually. Current wires. Generally, they are made with aluminium. Outside will be there. You can observe it. Aluminium current wires will be there, which is one type of a metal. And when they are laying down these current wires in the summer means more temperature will be there or less temperature will be there?
More temperature.
More temperature. So as more temperature is there, already they are in a expansion mode actually. That means they are expanded in the summer. So that's why while laying down these current wires in the summer, suppose this is one pole and one more pole is there. And when they are connecting to the two poles, this aluminium wire will be kept like this only, or it will be kept very loose. Very tight we have to keep, or very loose we have to keep when you are laying down these in a summer.
Loose.
Sir, loose.
Right, loose. Why we have to arrange it in a loose way?
Because when it
they'll expand.
Already it is in an expansion. Why? Because we are laying down them in a summer.
Yes, sir. So when we expand them, if one wire touches the other, a collision might happen and what do you say? There might be an electric.
You are not getting my point, Nana. See here. In summer, we are laying down a wire in between two poles loosely. Why? Why? Because in winter, generally what happens? Temperature drops. When temperature drops, what happens? Whether it will expand or contract. Whether it is right, it contracts. Whenever you are heating it, then it expands. Whenever you are cooling it, it will contract actually. That means whatever the length increased, that length will decrease now. So when length decreases, if you are arranging it in a loosely manner, it can adjust itself in such a way that it will be fixed in between these two poles. But if you are fixing them very tightly in the summer only, then what happens in winter? Contraction.
Contract.
When contraction takes place, what happens? When contraction is taking place, what happens is the tensional force may increase, and thereby what may happen? This wire may break actually. So that's why when you are laying down the wires, electrical wires in summer, you have to lay down them loosely. Suppose if you are laying down these current wires in the winter, then you have to fix them in between two poles. Why? Because in summer what happens? It will expand, and when it expands, it will become loose at that time. So you have to understand both the things. When you are heating, it will expand. When it cools, that then it will be contracting. So in which of the season you are laying down the current wires, that you have to check, and according to that you have to install them. Okay. Have you understood?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Right. Now, generally, maybe you know that. Have you seen about bullock cart?
Yes, sir.
Right. Bullock cart will have which type of wheels?
Wooden wheels.
Very good. Wooden wheel will be there like this. And I'm not good at drawing. Please bear with me. If it not look like a wheel also, you think it is a wheel only. Maybe this many spikes will not be there. So 4 or 5 will be there. Right. And only wooden one will be there for this wheel, or here anything will be there on the surface.
What, sir? Can you repeat?
Bullock cart wheel will be there, no? You said
Yes,
it
sir.
will be made with a wood.
Yes, sir.
On the surface of the wheel, anything will be there or nothing will be there?
Something will be there, sir.
You are not observed. Actually, on the surface of this particular wheel, a
Nothing will be there.
metallic plate will be there. After, if they are available in your city, you observe it. A metallic plate will be there on. What will be there? A metallic
Metallic plate.
plate will be there. So metallic plate will be wounded to this particular wheel. How it will be wounded to this particular metallic plate? Sorry, wood wheel. First, what we will take is we will take one metallic plate in a circular way like this, which is having lesser radius than this particular wheel. And after that, what we do is we heat this metal. Whatever metallic plate is there, circular one is there, we will heat it. When you are heating it, what happens? It will expand. That means the radius of it will increase. And after increasing, what we do is we wound that particular thing to this particular wheel like this. And after wounding like this, what we do is we'll make it to cool. When we are making it to cool, what happens? It will contract, and after contraction, it will fix to this particular wheel actually. Okay.
Sir, but like in my village, like there are many bullock carts like this, but I've never noticed a metallic strip kind of thing on the wheels.
Will be there, Nana. Will be there once you observe again, and after going to your village again, ask them whether metallic circular thing will be there for it or not. If only
Okay,
wood one is there, it can't run properly at all the conditions. So that's why metallic plate will be wounded to that. Okay.
Sir, but wood has like good friction, right? Then why is it a compulsion, like, to put that to wound that piece of iron to the wheel?
To protect it, to give some strength for it, and so that it can run in all the conditions. If suppose stone kind of road is there,
Rocky roads.
rocky road is there, then how it can run with a only wood one? So that's why this metallic plate can be used there.